So please tell me about yourself.
Um, Hello. I hold a master degree from Sarah Technical College, Tirunelveli, and I have been currently working for over 3 years in the same institution called Statistical Software Solutions, which is also in Tirunelveli district, Tamil Nadu.
Hmm.
My designation is system engineer, but I have worked mostly on most as a Java backend developer,
Hmm.
and I have hands-on experience in Java 8,
Hmm.
Spring Boot, and MySQL.
Hmm.
And on the front end side, I have a knowledge in HTML, CSS, and JSP.
Okay.
Uh, for for
Okay. Okay. Great. So you have knowledge JPA, Marvin,
yes, I have
and
adequate knowledge.
version tools. What kind of you are using? Jenkins. Sorry. GitLab or Bitbucket or any SVN tool. Which one you right now using?
We are for in Java we are using JDK8, and
No. No.
for
No. Version. Uh,
for version control we are using Git.
Git. Yes. 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 So you know JUnit and Makuto.
Yeah. We
So
have
what
for the
is the
modules I have worked on. I used to write test codes for that.
what is objective of writing JUnit Makuto? Why needed? You can
Uh,
let me know.
the main objective is to prevent the negative scenario error in our project.
Hmm.
That is the primitive object. We should also test the positive scenario and negative scenario to maintain the code flow.
Okay. But a positive scenario, negative scenario can be done by the manual by using the tester. So why needed JUnit? This is the question.
Uh,
And manually you can do that, positive and negative. So why code based unit testing is required?
um, I I think code based testing will be effective when we push our code to deployment.
Hmm.
So for that purpose, we need to use this unit and Mockito to
Hmm.
to maintain the code is very scalable for deployment.
If no, so code is if scalable and everything would be happen. So the code coverage and everything, but you have 50 to 60% or answer is correct. Not I am not denying that. So code coverage, suppose if you have written the JUnit test and
Yes,
if
I
you
need to maintain at least 75% coverage for the code to be pushed to the next environment.
yes, because of if you are using Jenkins pipeline, so here we have some rules, set up the rules. So based on the rules, Jenkins first will check the code coverage, taking whenever it is going to compilation and running the JUnit test, if the JUnit test are doing the 75% of code coverage of your REST API or any kind of you are doing
Yes.
job, so it will allow to deploy in another environment from the your versioning control tools, right? So advanced JavaScript, CSS, suppose,
Uh,
why
I
I'm,
have
yeah, why I'm asking, suppose if you got the maintenance project, okay, sometimes you will get the CR, means new requirement, sometimes you get the bug fixing, sometimes if you have any issue in prod, so how to deal you if suppose fraud team send you the detail of logs, so in that scenario, how do you like that work?
Could you please repeat the question?
uh, logs and everything you got from the customer production support team, suppose. Okay, your
Okay.
production support team is monitoring 24 by 7. Okay, if your application is going to prod, so sometime uh, issue was coming due to some different kind of things, whatever you have forget and your tester is forget, and something someone has break your script and pushes some kind of different values. Suppose they are passing null, but you have front end you have given the validation as a alphanumeric. Okay, but someone is go and break and internally extract your uh, HTML page, and their side they had put a null or something. For example, they want to break out your code. Okay,
Uh,
so that kind of scenario, validation, front end is your working, but sometime breach your concept by using JavaScript and something. So how do you validate like that, front end and back end? So which one is easy? Means front end is a more sophisticated rather than server side validation.
In the front end side, I have only around 4 to 5 months experience. So,
Okay.
in the back end side, if there is any problem arises like that, at first I couldn't exactly change the code. First, I need to check what is the issue that has been arises. For that, I need the logs provided by the product environment. Then
Yeah, yeah.
I need to recreate that issue. If it still persists, I need to get into the problem by checking all the other necessary details. Then, if it's not at all solved in there, I need to get my hands into the code.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, 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 okay. Okay, great. So you know Spring Boot, Spring
yeah,
MVC framework. Hmm?
yes, I know.
So in Spring MVC framework, you know mapping handler. What is mapping handler? View resolver. How it is work? How it is react? Can you explain
Um,
about that?
okay, I'll explain. The MAC flow is nothing but model, view, and controller thing. Model is dealing with POJO classes and database access object classes and other service classes, which has the business logics of the project. Uh, if a HTTP request is if a request is passed from the client side, it will get into the dispatcher server, which is act as a front-end controller, which uh, which assess the request to the handler mapping to for which sends it to the corresponding controller. The controller checks the request
So
and
just 1 minute. So you telling about mapping handler is REST controller or any other thing?
no handler mapping.
Mapping
Uh,
handler, mapping handler.
Mapping handler is it sends the request which is directed from the front end controller to the controller page, where we have mapped each and every method to create a corresponding response.
Mm. So mapping handler basically it is a controller, is a user, you whatever you have written. Okay, because
Okay.
dispatcher servlet forward your request based on the type. If this is get type request or post type request or
Delete back.
along with the URI, right? So all these things will redirect to the mapping handler. Mapping handler means whatever controller you have written, 10, 20, whatever you have written. Accordingly, go in the mapping handler, search out as per the request conditions. Okay. So this would map to the associate controller method and pass on all kind of these values. So once the process is going on finish, it will
It will
redirect
create a
to the
response.
view resolver. So view resolver just like as a can we say as a model, return model and controller, right? You know this class name. This is redirect to view resolver. So view resolver is a part of your JSP, JSTL, whatever you are using,
Photo.
and Angular JS, React JS, whatever you are using. So
Yes.
redirect to, if you are using REST API, so it will generate the response in HTML. So this is the resolver as a HTML response. That would be as a no 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 JSON, and that would be as a HTML base or JSP means uh, JSTL or JSP, whatever, that are the resolver. Okay,
Yes.
you are
So,
good, not a problem. Uh, so why you know the Springboard application annotation? What is role of this annotation?
Spring Boot application annotation. You mean at Spring Boot application?
Yeah, Springboard
Uh,
application annotation. Yes.
Uh, it is the main parent annotation for Spring Boot applications.
Mm-hmm.
It is a combination of enable auto configuration at
Mm-hmm.
component scan and at Spring Boot configuration annotation.
Mm-hmm.
So it performs the configure. It enables the auto configuration annotation. That is nothing but it whatever dependencies we have mentioned in the class path, it
Okay.
will configure everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it ready for the project flow.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has component scan, which specifies the Spring Bean classes and creates and it shows the classes eligible for creating object to a IOC container.
Mm-hmm.
and and at
You know,
Spring
IOC and dependency injections. You know.
Yes, I know. I
What
know.
that means?
IOC is an inversion of control.
Mm-hmm.
Is its main objective is to uh, create object for all the classes we have specified as a Spring Bean. We have by using the annotation at component or at controller, at service,
Mm-hmm.
at repository, whatever we have mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, it will create an object and it stores it in a, Spring container. And
So
dependency.
it will do during the initialization or runtime. Suppose if you have written the Spring Boot application, right? So
Yes,
this would be during the initialization. Initialization, you know.
it
Suppose
has it has its own scope of creating the object.
no
Usually by default, it will be a singleton.
singleton. No, no, no. I'm not asking the scope.
Okay.
Uh, suppose you have war file or jar file. Suppose if you want to deploy in any environment, war file. Suppose you are deploying in Tomcat server. So during the deployment, it would initiate the all these activity, just like a inversion of control will happen during the deployment or after deployment or running time.
Usually, uh, it will at first when the annotation Spring Boot application is started, everything will be created.
Yeah. So this is the initialization process.
Installation.
Okay. So
Okay.
that would be a ready-made process, means your application is ready during the deployment. Just you hit and run. That's why this is the lightweight. Okay.
Live. Okay.
So singleton class is thread safe in Spring Boot or thread dependent. Means dependent means I want to say you, it is a thread shape or not?
Singleton is now I think it's not thread safe because it will be under runtime. So
Yes, yes. Okay, okay, great. So, you know scope variables,
come again?
scope variable, scope variables.
No, I didn't know that.
You already told about the prototype,
I
singleton. I have
known
given
this.
two, just to reminding you, tell me. Scope type variables. How many types of variables we can use in
I think
prototype?
five types of scopes:
Hmm?
singleton, prototype, uh, based on the request, and session
Session means
based
global session. This is the five.
global one.
Hmm? So because of
Yes,
this would without this scope variables, your Spring framework cannot be performed. Okay,
yes, yes.
this is the important feature of that.
Okay, thank you.
By default, if you are
Single,
working singleton by default
singleton
is
by
okay.
default.
So suppose I want to convert prototype. So why needed prototype? Suppose I want to make it as a prototype whole process rather than singleton. Suppose I am writing this component or service annotation. Here I am just defining the scope as a prototype at the rate scope and inside prototype. So what is the objective of this?
Uh, the scope, if it will be singleton, we can access whenever we need it. If based on the scope, the access will be provided for the object for the
So
dependency we have injected.
prototype design pattern, you know how it is work prototype.
I I didn't. I think I forgot, but I know I have worked on that. I'm not sure, but about it.
Prototype and singleton both are the similar manner activity. Okay, but
Okay.
difference is that if you mark as a prototype, your number of requests is going to hit. Take the copy of existing object and engage with the execution. Means if you want to improve the code side performance, you can mark as a prototype. It will clone the current object and take the copy of one request, another. Suppose 1000 request is coming at one time, it will take the 1000 copy of the existing object. So this is the objective of. So this is the prototype design pattern. Okay. Here follow the cloning concept. You know how many type of cloning? Clone.
Uh, I have used cloning in by using clonable interface,
So how many
and then
types? So just to give the type name. You know deep cloning, shallow cloning.
shallow. Yeah, yeah, I know that.
So what is
They
shallow cloning? What is deep cloning?
deep cloning is affecting both the original copy and the copy we have cloned.
Hmm.
Shallow copy is if we alter the copy, it doesn't affect the original object.
Hmm. Okay. So is solid principle, you know?
Yes.
Can you explain
Uh,
about the solid principles?
um, First one is single responsibility class principle.
Hmm.
A class should have only one single responsibility. It shouldn't be. It should be more specific for that class. Then a class should be open for modification,
Open and close.
open for extension and closed for modification.
Hmm.
And Liskov substitution principle is uh, if uh, if a subclass object can be replaced without changing the correctness of a program. And interface segregation is
Interface
uh,
or integrity?
uh, interface
Interface, right?
interface interface segregation is a class. If a class needs to implement an interface, if it's there, any function related to the interface should be there. If there is no need for that interface, it shouldn't be implement that interface. So the interface should be more specific than to be more general.
Mm-hmm.
And D is dependency inversion principle.
And then last D, dependency,
Inversion
dependency inversion, right?
inversion principle. Yes, and that is um, um, classes should be independent in their
So,
um,
okay, great, great. So, solid principle. So means if you know the solid principle, no needed to you any architect or something. You can self rely and do start self, right?
yes.
Okay. So suppose I will tell you about JPA. Suppose JPA. So why we are using JPA rather than Hibernate, or JPA based on the Hibernate concept? That that kind of things you think here?
Uh, for uh, Instead of Hibernate, we are using JPA because of Hibernate. If you use Hibernate, we need to configure it manually, and then we need to create a session to maintain the to write query and transactional programs.
Mm-hmm.
For JPA, by just implementing the um, repository, we can uh, the code will be automatically written based on because of Hibernate implementation,
Mm.
uh, which which is the main
Okay,
advantages while we are using JPA.
okay. Means you forget to close and open connection, right? By using
Uh,
Hibernate. So these are the advantage. Huh?
is
Any other advantage?
um, then like even though JPA need to use entity factor manager, it is
No, JPA, other things I think you don't know. Okay, no problem.
okay.
JPA basically provide to independent database programming concept. Because of
Okay.
here, no need, just change the dialect and change the connection URL. It will treat it as a different kind of database, right?
Yes.
So this is the main advantage, and this will cost effective, because suppose any company are using Oracle database, 1 year after Oracle will increase the license fee. So
Okay.
company will tell, oh, this is more costly and more effective. It cannot be survived. So they will tell to the team, just you initiate the step for testing the current application with the MySQL. So what you do that? You just change the dialect and change the connection string in property file and do start. Some minor changes will come, you correct it, but your
Yes.
application will ready made is ready. Hmm?
Yes.
So this is the advantage rather
Okay.
than JDBC and Hibernate is also provide the same thing, but Hibernate is a more tricky because of you are writing the coding in that scenario. If you are forget the close the connection statement, that kind of thing, so it will be this the memory leakage. Hmm?
Okay.
So now I am moving core Java. Okay.
Okay.
So static method can be overload.
No. Yes, static can be overload.
Overload.
Uh, yes, static can be overload.
How?
Um, in the same class, we can overload the static method.
Overload, right?
Overloading happens in the same
Yes,
class
yes, yes,
only.
yes,
So we
yes.
can
And overriding.
overriding static method cannot be overridden
And
because
suppose
overriding is happens in another class
suppose
by
I am writing the same method, same signature in child and parent. So what will happen? It will compile and execute or not?
uh, if we have
Same
no,
signature,
it
same
won't
sentence.
compile.
Huh?
It won't compile. It won't compile.
Why?
Because if we by it is parent child, it has a is a relationship. So if we use the same name with the same method parameter, it will JVM will get confused if it's overridden. So if we use a static keyword, it cannot be seen.
Means static keyword. Suppose I am using, so it will not allow to parent and child. Same method, right? You have not given the very simple question answer. Why? Because of you forget about static methods are not associated with the object. These are associated with the class.
Yes.
Yeah, already once you create a static method, it will associate directly with the JVM, not go
Oh,
beyond the object.
okay, okay.
So if
Uh,
you call the class name dot method, it will
it
call in
does not.
separate.
Okay.
If you call the child class name and the same method, it will call in child class. So where is
Oh.
a confusion?
I know it's a class level, but overriding concept comes in between.
Because of
Yes, ma'am.
you not touch the concept of static keyword. Static
Okay.
or class level
Yeah.
variables and methods. Class levels means these variables and methods are associated with the class, not
It's
object.
not an object. Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, I'm clear now.
You clear?
Yes, I'm
Why
clear.
you given wrong answer about the simple question? I was thinking you are very good because of
I
you.
have I have confused with that overloading and override concept. So,
Okay, so
but I can't justify that.
justified, but you
I
given
could.
completely wrong because of cannot be
Yes, yes,
override,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So suppose I have a class A, okay?
Okay.
Here have a constructor A, I am printing constructor A. Class B extend class A, okay? Just I am making relationship between
Yes. Both.
child and parent, okay?
Mm. Okay.
And class B constructor class B. I am printing constructor B. Now I am creating the object of class B. B is equal to new B.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You have any doubt in this question?
No.
No? So which
No.
constructor will call first?
The constructor which is in class A.
A first.
Yes.
Why?
Because usually in constructor there is it will have the super constructor behavior. It will inherit the method super
Okay,
of.
okay, okay. Leave it. Not a problem. So you know terminal operation and non-terminal operation in Steam API.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, please tell. Yeah, please go ahead.
Terminal terminal operators is nothing but methods. Non-terminal operators are methods which returns the stream object, which is called as non-terminal operators. Terminal operators, which are all the methods which doesn't return the stream object, is considered as op- terminal operation methods.
Can you give the name of methods?
Um, for non-terminal methods, I can say filter,
Hmm.
um, map, flat map.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. No problem. So you know the array list and linked list.
yes, I know that in collections framework.
So what is difference between those?
Um,
Just to give the
I
short answer and specific answer.
okay. Um, array list as both of them are global in nature, but in linked list usually based on the structured doubly linked list. It
Hmm.
has the memory address stored for the previous and after elements addresses which be stored in each nodes.
Okay.
But in array list, uh, it
Okay.
means
So
context.
you know database,
I know only MySQL database.
MySQL database. So how many types of joins?
Five.
Yeah, please.
Uh, inner, outer, cross, self, and inner join.
Hmm. So you know view, figure.
Um, I didn't work on triggers, so I didn't know
So you
if I
know
want to learn. I can
cursor, function, procedures.
cursor. Yes, cursor function store procedures. I know.
Okay. So view. When will you use view?
View is usually used to store a large query
Hmm.
where there is no parameter is needed. We
Hmm.
can use view,
Hmm.
and exact opposite will be stored procedure. We
Hmm.
can.
So okay. I think time is over. You want to ask anything else after this discussion?
Uh, how is my performance for this?
Performance directly you want to ask your result, right?
Feedback, just like a feedback.
Okay. But this is a part of HR. But if you want to ask, so no problem. Um, just you improve your core Java. Okay. So, but I will forward you for the further round. But you just
I
improve.
need to.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Because of if you not perform in second round, so no meaning of the first round.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So result should be result. Okay. So if
Okay.
you okay, so no problem. So just you brush up your skill set. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Because of just because of you have only 3 year experience. So as per your performance, just I am forwarding you the further round. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I had a nice time